And now it's time for The World's Gone Mad. Yes, the world truly did go mad last week with the assassination, vilification and demonising of Charlie Kirk. It seems we are now living in an age when stupidity knows no bounds.
I wish I was stupid. You guys seem so happy.
Yes, apparently she thinks Trump supporters are happy because they are stupid. That's certainly an interesting inversion of reality, but not quite so kooky as this one.
The oppressor holds all the power. The people who are oppressed and targeted are standing firm in their belief that they don't owe their oppressor empathy. And somehow, this is a problem? Please explain it to me like I'm 5. Thank you.
Okay, I will. Charlie was a goodie. You are a half-wit. But speaking of oppressors...
This is why people don't trust white people. Because it is peak whiteness and colonizer behavior to demand civility for a man who denies others their humanity. That's the oppressor, and we do not need to sympathize or empathize with them. And don't get me wrong, because I long for a world where there is no violence in it. But until all of us are free, none of us are free, and violence is part of the equation because of the oppressor, not the oppressed.
It's always in the eyes. Yes, watching the left slowly realising that their idiotic ideology is nothing more than hateful stupidity that can only end in bloodshed and violence is quite something. Exhibit A.
There it is again, that funny feeling.
Right, great. Exhibit B. How on earth do you explain this?
I have the best news ever.
What? Donald Trump died?
Second best news.
The vice president died?
Okay, third best news.
That Elon Musk died?
Okay, no. Nobody died. My best friend's getting married.
Which one is it?
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged!
Kids thinking that great news is when some conservative dies. How tragic, how sad. But I guess that's how you end up with adult females like this. Yes, what the death of Charlie Kirk has exposed, among many other things, is the utter depravity and sickness of the so-called woke movement. Here's just a couple of examples of just how compassionate, tolerant and inclusive those lefties really are.
Did you see all that blood that came out of his body? It was like...
Last thing on this today, yes, I am a better person than you for celebrating the death of a Nazi. And actually, it's pretty weird that you're not, and simultaneously asking people to have empathy for the Nazi. Y'all good?
One down, couple more to go. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead.
As much as you want to play the, oh, loving father didn't deserve that, poor kids.
Sickening. Then there are those who also want, of course, Donald Trump to die.
We're this upset about our reaction to Charlie Kirk. Wait until they see what happens, how we act when it happens. Uh-oh.
Stand when I simply ask, is he dead yet?
I was not kidding when I said, if you were gonna get the job done, there were 2 better candidates.
It's the eyes, and sadly there are plenty more like that. It seems that after a decade of everyday conservative types being demonised and cancelled for everything from praying silently outside an abortion clinic to saying men are not women, the left has become not only insanely radicalised but arrogant with it, believing that they are untouchable. But as something finally snapped, it appears that Charlie Kirk's death, or rather the left's demented response to it, has finally made mainstream America wake up and flip the narrative. Jimmy Kimmel A so-called left-wing comedian, made these remarks about Charlie Kirk's assassin the other day, grotesquely trying to blame Trump supporters for the slaying.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Sensibly, Disney have now cancelled his show. Good riddance, Jimmy. Bye, you won't be missed. I guess it's a case of delayed karma, because here's Kimmel celebrating Tucker Carlson losing his show.
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means.
And here is Jimmy Kimmel telling the unvaccinated that they deserve to die.
Hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack, yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy.
So no, I'm not sorry to see him go. Now, across America, there has been a whole spate of firings and sackings of people who celebrated Kirk's death online. Seems like bosses are no longer prepared to tolerate this sort of lefty lunacy.
Well, the Toronto District School Board is investigating after a teacher reportedly showed part of the video of Kirk's assassination to some young students. The school board has not released the name of the teacher, only that they were a staff member at the Corvette Junior Public School, adding that the teacher was relieved of all responsibilities until an investigation was complete.
You just take it? You just take it like a man? I'm unemployed. What am I supposed to do now? Do I go home and goon? Like, guys, what do I do? Like, actually, like, what do you do when you get fired?
I was fired on Friday for saying that I was having a hard time finding empathy for Charlie Kirk.
Well, I just want to say thanks a lot, MAGA. You guys did get me fired from my job. So much for freedom of speech, huh, guys?
I made some stupid comments about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot. I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today, on a weekend, I'm told that I am no longer employed at Microsoft. After 6 years, building the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department from scratch.
And there are plenty of other such individuals gleeful at the death of Charlie Kirk who are now enjoying their newfound freedom from employment. But is it justified? This man says yes.
Getting your coworkers fired for making fun of Charlie Kirk, that's not just okay, it is morally ethical. It is your moral duty to get your libtard coworkers immediately fired. It's your duty to say that you feel unsafe in the workplace. It's your duty to say they're creating a hostile working environment. It's your duty to put that into writing and get them on the dough.
Then there was this Australian woman who unbelievably works in mental health, who argues that there is nothing wrong, or argued that there was nothing wrong with laughing at the death of Charlie Kirk and calling him a human water fountain. Ah, yes, the compassion, the empathy.
I want to reiterate that it is not wrong or unethical or unkind to laugh at the misfortunes of terrible people. That Charlie Kirk incited violence. That's what he did. And then that came back to haunt him. That was his decision. So it's got nothing to do with the people who are laughing and joking about him becoming a human water fountain.
Sadly, not everyone agreed with her.
Apparently, they made a report to the AFP, the federal police, about me. I'm like, what did I do other than say something that hurt your feelings? Like, that's free speech. You the ability to speak, even if that's something that personally offends you or you find distasteful.
So there you have it, how the tables have turned. After a decade of abusing conservatives for disagreeing with them, after a decade of weaponising hurt feelings and being offended, after a decade of cancel culture and having people thrown out of their jobs for misgendering a fellow worker or whatever else, the left has finally discovered free speech. Too late, lefties. For years now, you've sanctimoniously assaulted free speech. You've kicked it into the gutter. You've hacked at it with your vile Twitter storms. You've poisoned it with your accusations of hate speech, homophobia, sexism, transphobia, racism. You've taken a club and bashed in the brains of free speech. And now you're suddenly going, hey, wake up, free speech. We need you. But don't worry, I'm sure you'll revert to type soon enough.
Shut the
LGBT.
These are radical Christians in there that are housing neo-Nazis.
Right, but
and you're defending. God, you're so stupid.
They don't push gays off the top.
Are
of the
you
building for
kidding?
being gay.
Shut the up,
they
you
don't.
bigot. Shut the up. You don't want to learn.
He needs to learn how to communicate like you.
Shame.
Oh, are you going to threaten me?
Did you misgender her? Did you misgender her?
Apparently.
Meanwhile, here's a rap star complaining about people complaining about his free speech.
Yo, real quick. At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated. At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death.
No point whatsoever. At no point, of course, you didn't. In fact, here's the bit where you were so respectful and sensitively mourning Charlie Kirk's death.
I want to dedicate this next one to an absolute piece of of a human being. The pronouns was, were. Because if you chat you will get banned. Rest in Charlie Kirk, a piece of
No, of course you weren't being disrespectful. I'm delighted to say that despite that appalling individual's pathetic protestations to the contrary, he too had his next gig in Holland cancelled due to those remarks. Yes, it truly is a world gone mad, but maybe sanity is starting to prevail.